Nice meeting you. I'm going to say special hello to you, but I'm going to greet every of the family members and friends. Okay.
I'm me, Michael.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Switch that mic on here.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. Good morning. Bonjour.
Good morning.
Oh, there's a little bonjour somewhere.
Well, it's on. Is it on? Hello. I think we can be seated now. I'm Mark Creal. Most of you know me. I'm Michael's eldest daughter. And it's my pleasure to call this gathering to order. Your Honor, the Honorable Edith Dumont, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, family, Dad. Tony is now going to read the land acknowledgements.
Definitely going to read. So, first of all, with thanks to the 519, this statement speaks directly to Michael's lifelong commitment to peace and justice for all, and his tireless efforts for the human rights of refugees and asylum seekers. It's consistent with the mission and values of Sanctuary North, one of the many initiatives that Michael and Lee have founded and guided to sustainability. Land acknowledgement. We are located in Tikaronto, now known as Toronto, which in Mohawk means where there are trees standing in the water. Today, Tikaronto is covered under Treaty 13 and the Williams Treaty, which is the traditional territories of many First Peoples, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. As we gather today, these nations continue to experience ongoing colonization and displacement, where land acknowledgements are offered in place of land itself. This territory is part of the Dish with One Spoon Wampum, a treaty made between the Anishinaabe Mississaugas and the Haudenosaunee, where nations entered into an agreement to protect the land and responsibly care for its resources in harmony together. As settlers, newcomers, refugees, and Indigenous peoples, we have all been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. We are also mindful of broken treaties that persist across Turtle Island today and recognize our responsibilities as treaty people to engage in a meaningful, continuous process of truth and reconciliation with all our relations. By being on this land, we are all responsible for upholding its treaties. Treaty agreements were made to last as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and rivers flow.
Thank you very much, Tony. So it's my privilege now just to say a couple of things. Dad can't hear very well, so he's read my remarks, so I might from time to time look down because I want to deliver kind of what I told him I would, okay? It's okay. Dad loves a party. It always gives him great joy, and this party in particular is very important to him. He was involved in the planning of it, and I'm just going to say, he doesn't know I'm going to say this, that the whole family pulled together, as well as certainly Her Honor's staff, and pulled this together. It's fantastic. On a more serious note about parties, the concept of radical hospitality applies to Dad's extraordinary way of living and giving. Its definition is a practice of putting extraordinary effort and emphasis on making people feel welcome. I would add a deep respect for the dignity of every human being, an innate curiosity in finding out about people, their ideas, philosophies, what drives them, what gives them joy, and what burdens them. This concept and this way of living has applied to many aspects of Dad's personal and professional life. First and foremost, his family, with his life partner Lee, and with our family and friends at home and at the dinner table. In the classroom with students and with his colleagues at York University. Very important to him. In the many boardrooms that he has occupied. With his faith community from the beginning of his ordained life and later now at Holy Trinity. So with his faith community in person and now on Zoom. With his advocacy colleagues, many of whom are here today. On telephone, Zoom, and meeting rooms, the concept of radical hospitality applies. It characterizes his accomplishments and successes. Sanctuary North is the embodiment of his dedication and commitment to his principles, and aptly demonstrates this concept in action. Sanctuary North is a haven for refugees, a place where families can relax, explore nature, and build community. Established in 2000 on the banks of the York River, Dad and Lee have dedicated their time and talents and a little bit of elbow grease. It's the only time I've seen my dad in an all-terrain vehicle moving rocks. But they dedicated their time, talents, and energy to the creation and practice at this wonderful place. Dad has had many dreams and continues to have them, and Sanctuary North is one well realized. There are dreams that may well remain dreams, not the least of which is Dad scoring the breakaway goal in the 7th game of the Stanley Cup Finals on behalf of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dad encourages an active dream life in addition to a life in action. Fitting that we are gathered here today at a party to celebrate this wonderful man. So important all of you are here with us. And thank you, all of you. So very proud of you, Dad. And you are very deserving of this very honor, the Order of Canada. I try not to get emotional, but sometimes that happens. I would like to call on the aide-de-camp to the Lieutenant Governor, Captain Matt Davies.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, everybody.
Do you have the mic working here?
I'll stand
That's
closer.
it. Mic.
Your Honor, in 1967, on the occasion of the centennial of Canadian Confederation, Queen Elizabeth II, on advice of her Canadian government, approved the creation of the Order of Canada. This fellowship recognizes the outstanding merit or distinguished service of Canadians who make a major difference to Canada through lifelong contributions in every field of human endeavor, and whose actions exemplify the Order's motto, "They deserve a better country." Investitures into the Order most commonly take place at Rideau Hall in Ottawa. However, at the request of the Governor General, today's investiture for the Reverend Michael Creal takes place in this private ceremony here in Toronto. The citation for Reverend Creal's investiture reads as follows. The Reverend Michael Creal has dedicated more than 50 years to being an educator, activist, and faith leader. Now Professor Emeritus, he has been with York University since its early days and played a significant role in establishing its internationally renowned Center for Refugee Studies. This Anglican priest and steadfast member of Toronto's Church of the Holy Trinity has participated in many initiatives to support historically marginalized people, particularly refugees. On behalf of His Majesty the King, Sovereign of the Order of Canada, and by command of the Right Honourable Mary May Simon, Governor General, Commander-in-Chief of Canada, and Chancellor and Principal Companion of the Order of Canada, the Reverend Michael Creal of Toronto is hereby invested as a member of the Order of Canada. I invite your honor to present the Reverend Michael Creal with his signature, investing him into the order.
Congratulations.
This is the photo opportunity. If anyone wants to take a picture, please feel free.
Closer, okay, holding, wait. A nice one like this.
Yes.
Lovely.
Where do I look? Where we start there and finish over here.
Okay. Cameras are still up, they're coming down.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, would love it if you would say a few words.
I will.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. Reverend Creal and all the family members, friends, I am truly delighted to be with you today. On behalf of Her Excellency Mary Simon, General Governor of Canada, and I spent 3 days with her last week, and she knew I was coming here. So she's with us today, definitely. Throughout your life, and I will give you my notes so you can read it tonight. You have built so many bridges between people, communities, and cultures. You are truly deserving of being invested into the Order of Canada, one of the highest honors of our country. The motto of the Order is "They desire a better country." And as I was reading, learning about your life, your achievements, I saw a connection to your work. If you don't mind, I read something in one of your sermons. And you said, a leadership that serves, that cares, is a leadership that empowers, that enriches life. You said this vision needs to be the vision we embrace nationwide, and we should settle for nothing less. The way you have worked to advance this vision through your own service and your own caring is inspiring all of us, but also myself as a Lieutenant Governor. And I think I'm here this morning because I needed to bring back home. Home means the Lieutenant Governor office, 2 words: radical hospitality. It makes my day, and it will probably change the way I will do my work from starting today. I'm a brand new Lieutenant Governor. Just 7 months ago I was appointed, and I gave myself at least a year to learn how to be a good Lieutenant Governor. Well, I needed those 2 words on my list, and I will carry those 2 words in my heart very deeply: radical hospitality. So you're all welcome. If you come to Queen's Park, we have a bell, you ring, and I'll be there to say bonjour, to say hello. So now, let's celebrate with all your friends and family and have a beautiful day, sir.
Thank you.
So I would just like to thank Your Honor for your words today and your presence. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is here. Your presence means a great deal. This process means a great deal. And I'm glad that my dad has taught you something. That's wonderful. I also want to acknowledge that there are people who weren't able to attend, called in 7 days on a long weekend. It's a big ask, right? And many of whom sent tributes to Michael. Thank you all for coming out and for your presence today. And let's get this party started. Yeah.
Hi.
Dad, do you want to speak? I forgot to ask you.
I
You
just-
told me you wanted to speak.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Michael.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I turned off the mic now.
In the name of Michael, to say thank you. Thanks be to God for the gift of this good man. I am one among many today, but I know this to be true. He has seen the wind. He has seen the wind. He has heard the wind. He has heard the sound of the sky calling him to prayer, the prairie prayer. He has seen the wind. He has seen the sun melting into spring. He has seen the northern lights dancing as on the ice, the puck, the slate, the prairie played. He has seen the wind and leeward. They have seen the wind, leeward, and leftward. He has seen the lights, the dancers on the prairie. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, Mary Jo. Do you mind if I just say that you're from the prairies too? And that both you and Dad and Jack Costello, who's here, enjoy watching it, particularly when the Saskatchewan Roughriders are in the Grey Cup, and that you like to be together. So truly, we've got many provinces represented here today. Thank you. And I think that concludes the remarks. I think Jack, did you want to say something?
I always want to say something, and it's never worth it.
Do you want to say something, Jack? Here.
Everybody's here. I don't care. Everyone here loves Michael, and I am a latecomer to the worship community, and I'm just so grateful for a million things, but basically his breathing, his joy, where he finds satisfaction, and what he gives to life. Marvelous. Thank you.
Can I say one?
This is very impromptu, but it needs to be said about the concept of radical hospitality and how it can be transmitted from generation to generation. Ladies and gentlemen, my daughter, Dad's granddaughter, is making the food. And the bar, and her husband. This has all been a family affair. So, invite you.
You priest at Holy Trinity, but that's not how I got to know Michael. And this is all about radical hospitality. I was a priest at Christ Church in Scarborough and knew nothing about caring about and helping those that are struggling to stay in the country. A lady by the name of Annette from Uganda was told she had to leave. And I didn't know what to do, but I cared about her and wanted to come alongside her in whatever way I could. And I don't know actually who gave me your name, but I got it. Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure who. So I connected with Michael and set up a meeting at the Romero House Center on Bloor Street for 7 o'clock. You're laughing at this. In my mind, it was like, oh, okay, 7 p.m. I can go to Scarborough and come back to the meeting for 7 p.m. No problem. Sure enough, I get, I think, an email from Michael that says we're here, and it's 7 a.m. So the dedication. Long story, Annette did end up staying in the country. I learned so much through Michael and through the sanctuary group there. And then when I did come to be the priest at Holy Trinity, Michael, I didn't know you were at Holy Trinity at that point. And the first email that I got from somebody saying how wonderful it was that I'd joined the congregation was Michael. So, so it's wonderful. I also want to say that in that conversation while I was at Christ Church, both Lee and Michael very quickly invited me to come to their home and chat. And so radical hospitality, even in your home, you know, just on behalf of those that are needing hospitality. So thank you to both of you.
You all know to enjoy some of this hospitality. Thank you.
I'm right here too. I work on the street.
Oh yeah, and Molly, his great granddaughter, went to Italy and bought some last minute items. Thank you, Molly.
Retired from my job as a refugee coordinator with Amnesty International in around 2018, and I told Mary Jo, and even before I retired, I said I can't stop doing this work. So Mary Jo's, I had my eye on her and joined the Sanctuary Coalition. Because the horrible thing about working at Amnesty International was that we had this little box that we worked out of. And part of when it worked, when people fit into that box, it was the most powerful thing in the world. But there were too many people, in my experience, that were falling outside of the box. And the Sanctuary Coalition that I got to know through Romero House was an opportunity for me to work outside of the box. And I needed that after 20 years of having to work in a box and make everything fit. And Michael, very shortly after I joined the Sanctuary Coalition, comes tapping me on the shoulder and said, "You're going to become the next chair of the Sanctuary Coalition." So no, I can't do that. Like, how does anyone follow in Michael's footsteps? And not only that, he was going to stay in the coalition. He wasn't going to go away. He was going to be a part of that. So it's like, oh, and he's going to see everything, every mistake I make. Michael was the leader, and he had the passion, he had the heart, he had that sense of justice. And I knew Michael as a professor, a scholar, but what I really liked was Michael was not afraid to think outside of the box. And if it meant a little bit of civil disobedience or whatever else you might want to call it, Michael wasn't going to shy away from that. He embraced whatever it was, true compassion, true love, true justice. And sometimes the way to get there is not according to all of the little boxes that this world has created. And Michael, thank you so much for being that inspiration. And today, I am humbled to be here, but I am carrying with me the sanctuary community, the refugee advocacy community, all of those people who keep knocking on doors. Mary Jo has never, there's never a door that she's not afraid to knock on. Michael's not afraid to knock on those doors or knock them down. And I'm just so humbled to be a part of that community, and I'm here for all of those people today to say that your advocacy, Michael, your leadership, your sense of justice, compassion has been true leadership, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of that community. So.
My name is Sonia de Martinez, and I was just talking to Gloria. I'm not sure where she went, but just saying that my daughter and I are here. My husband and my other daughter couldn't come because they were doing other things, but they send their love. And we are one of those many refugees that Michael helped and supported. And as I was mentioning earlier, we came in 2007, and we met Michael and Lee, I think, at the end of 2008, when we were struggling to stay in Canada. And they came to the Spanish community of Holy Trinity, and they came to show us what Sanctuary North was. And they were looking for 2 Spanish-speaking families to be trained to go there and take other families to enjoy this beautiful place. Anyway, we started talking, and we told them about our case without knowing who they were. And we always believe that God put angels around you, and these 2 have been there, without being disrespectful. They have been there since then. And if it wasn't for the Lord, of course, but both of them, we haven't been here. We wouldn't be here. And it's been just a blessing, and it's a privilege for my daughter and I to be here today. And you deserve this and more. I hope you feel the love of everyone here. We are so blessed to be here, surrounded by you, your family, and feel so loved and special, of course. And just wanted to extend my gratitude for all those years. You were there in the bad times and the good times. And one time that we were almost kicked out of the country, just 5 days before the day that we were supposed to leave, we got an extension. So we agreed on 2010 that instead of crying and mourning about that date, we were going to have a celebration every year. So we have been doing that until COVID happened. And after COVID, we couldn't meet in December. So I think last year we met in the spring. So it's just been, since we met them, if we felt that we were family. And they were just treating us like they know us from a long time. And just thank you for that, Michael and Lee. Without being, again, disrespectful, Michael, you've been such a blast and a bless for so many. And they said, behind every great man like you, there is always a greater woman. So thank you so much. God bless you.
Cheers.
And when I became director in 2004, I knew little about the field. And I'm so grateful that Michael was there. He would come along, just talk a bit about what's going on and get the lay of the land. And he kept showing up at the meetings, annual meetings, and the seminars with such thoughtfulness, and it was such an important support. And I was so grateful for that. And he's been, of course, around the Center for Refugee Studies since its beginning in 1988, and has continued to provide support and to the current leaders, and it's been an impressive contribution. Great.
Cheers.
I'll just be very brief. We're picking up on that term radical hospitality, which has become a bit of a theme. The Lieutenant Governor has taken that away with her as something she wants to apply in her life. Her sincerity shone through that event. But what I just wanted to say was that Sonia and Minor and their 2 wonderful daughters are a living embodiment of that kind of radical hospitality. And as a principle in terms of refugees, in terms of asylum seekers, I think I'm going to carry that term forward in that way. It embraces civil obedience at times, but you never lose at the core that desire, that warmth, that opportunity to give people hospitality and to stay in Canada. And Minor and Sonia and their daughters embody that. They've brought so much to this country, so much to Sanctuary North. So it's a gift. It's part of Michael's gift. Thank you.
You want to sit next to him so he can hear better?
No, I'm fine. Michael, there's nothing that I'm going to say that you don't know. First of all, Gary and Emma and Jacob and I love you. Secondly, the one thing that I didn't hear enough about tonight, because nobody really wants to say it, is that you were a leader. Your leadership qualities have nothing to do with leading. They have somehow to do with following. And I love you for that. You did so much for all of us. In my family especially. And that's because you led us, Michael. Michael, remember the meditation? No thing. No thing. Do you remember that? At night he taught me, if I couldn't sleep, to just utter no thing. No thing.
Did it work?
Yes, it worked. Because it's just better than counting sheep.
And I'm going to get very emotional, but 5.5 months ago we had a baby, and she's really special to us, and we named her Addie, and her middle name is Michaela, after this incredible person here. And she's had a tough month, and it's been really heartening to know that she has a little piece of Michael in her, and I think that strength and determination and tenacity has brought all of us in our family through a really hard time. And I can't wait for 18.5 years to pour her a martini and tell her all about her most incredible namesake, who will be a part of me forever, and will obviously be a part of her forever. So, thank you, and congratulations.
I think we should have a toast.